It's episode 1306, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and we have a great show coming up for you today. Joining us later for Relevant Recommends is Sondae, an amazing alt R&B artist you need to know. Jessica Koulianos from Jesus Image is joining us as well. Emily has a fascinating conversation with her. We obviously talk about some World Cup stuff. There's a lot of faith overlay with the tournament this year, especially with the men's U.S. team. So we'll talk about that. Some alien conversation with Disclosure Day might come up a little bit. We have your feedback at the end, so stay tuned for all that. But joining me, here we go, from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, our managing editor, downtown, Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
And they're in LA, you know, from Social Club Misfits, it's Marty.
What's going on?
We're recording this at a weird time because Jesse was on vacation all last week. And this week, I'm going away for 2 weeks. It's summer, you know. It's summer.
Where are you going?
Stuff. I'm going to Alaska. I'm doing the trip that you did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're going to love it. You could do the train?
Yeah. So we're flying into Fairbanks, and then we go up to the glacier, and then in Denali, stay at a lodge on the glacier, take the train down to Juneau, where we catch a boat, and then go down the Canadian coastline for 10 days. So
that's amazing.
It's going to be awesome. My parents are paying for the whole thing, just like with you. It's like your parents, your rich parents, and my rich parents are at the stage in life, and they're like, we're not going to die with it. We might as well pay for extravagant vacations.
I love it.
I say yes.
Parents.
This is like a parent's dream vacation. Like, this is not something that my friends and I would want to do.
No.
But my parents would be so down to do it.
My mom is so excited. They've done the Alaskan cruise so many times. She's excited for the workshops and the lessons that they do on the deck and stuff, all the naturists and stuff. I'm like,
gosh. Yeah. Plants. They talk about plants and stuff. You're like, okay, algae.
She took a flower arrangement class on her last cruise, she said.
I love it. Yeah.
Anyway.
You know, I just went on a cruise a month ago. I'm a big fan of cruises. I love it. I love cruise culture. I love like the different types of culture that you get to see. It's just fun. I mean, it's just
take me places. I don't have to make any decisions.
I can eat pizza at 3 a.m. You know,
come on.
But here's the thing. I'm curious about with the flower arranging and classes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to go to class.
How is that cruise related? Like, can't you just kind of do that wherever? Like,
because on the cruise they have these experts, so they do like towel animals on your bed. Well, then they will teach you how to do towel animals. They do amazing floral arrangements around the ship. They have cooking classes. All these experts are on the boat. Why not just,
But is this only like for like river cruises and Alaskan cruises with these courses? Because if I went on like a Royal Caribbean and there's like a
Royal
magic,
Caribbean.
Dude,
they had it on Royal Caribbean
all day, any cruise. The thing is when we go Royal Caribbean, like to the islands and stuff, we're doing the fun stuff. We're going to be out at the pool deck. We're going to be, enjoying the amenities of the ship. But the old people don't want to hang out in where all the loud people are. So they need quiet things to do. So they have these classes on those boats too. And
what you're saying is the entertainers there will take a break from entertaining and just teach others to be an entertainer.
They'll do dancing classes. They'll do
dancing.
Yeah. I mean, a bunch of different things. Yeah.
It's almost like a retirement home. Like a retirement home of floating. Like they're bringing a guy in who could sing like Frank Sinatra. Like there's almost a similar environment to an old folks home, but young people. I did the flower class. I'm going to be honest with you. I learned a lot, but I like to take the weird classes like that. I just do.
Do you really? See,
I did. I swear, I took all of them. I don't want to
learn.
There's a bunch of weird, funny ones that I have to like look up that we took. That I was like, why am I here? And I left midway. But yeah, we did them all.
I feel the same way about these classes that Jesse does about playing dominoes with his friends on vacation. Every time we're like, Jesse, come play with us. He goes, I don't want to play dominoes. I don't like doing math for fun. That's what he says. I don't want to go on a cruise and a vacation to go to class. So I'll take a nap. So anyway.
Yeah, I use my brain too much in normal life. I want to do mindless things. Like that seems like homework to me. I will say this. I just got back from a vacation in an equally classy location, the New Jersey Shore. And
nice.
Guys, I think I'm one of the world's best carnival game players. Like, I can't lose.
Really?
Years ago, I won. This is when I was dating who's my now wife, Dana. I was dating her and we were visiting the Jersey Shore. And at one of those games, I won her a fish, right? Like a live little,
goldfish.
Yeah. It wasn't a goldfish, but it was
Was
something.
it beta?
Yeah,
Was it beta?
it was
fish?
a beta fish. That thing lived for like 6 years, and
That's
it froze
impressive.
to death. It froze to death in her car twice and came back to life.
Oh wow! A little
Why-
resurrection.
Whoa! Why was she keeping the fish in her car?
Well, we never expected it to live that long, right? And so we would drive back and forth to Oklahoma, and she lives in New
sure.
York.
Sure.
And I'm trying to out my father-in-law, but I think both times were his fault, where he left the fish in the car with specific instructions to bring him inside, and he was frozen in a block of ice, like motionless,
like
you
some
know?
Walt Disney stuff. I love that.
And he came back to life multiple times. Those Jersey Shore carnival fish.
Built
I was
different.
wondering how we were
They're
going
built
back to the
different,
Jersey
yeah.
Shore. Hey, so my only awareness of the Jersey Shore is you going there and saying
Yeah.
it's nice, and all we saw of it was what we saw on
the MTV show.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was
Okay. So-
exactly.
So to me, it's Myrtle Beach, it's Daytona Beach, it's trashy, whatever. Dude, the new season of the four seasons
Yeah.
on Netflix, the Tina Fey show, the final episode, I think 6, they were in, maybe 5. They were
Yeah.
in Jersey Shore, and it was
Yeah.
so classy and so beautiful and like charming and boardwalk, and it was nothing like the MTV version of it.
So that's more where we stay. So that area, that was because Dana and I were very excited when that came up on 4 seasons, because we watched that episode right before the trip up there, and that little community is probably 3 miles north of Seaside Heights. Seaside Heights is the furthest end, right? That's as far south as you can go to, you know what I mean, at the Jersey Shore. And that is where the show took place. But the further north you go, the nicer it gets. So that little story arc on 4 seasons took place about 3 miles north of Seaside Heights. So we stay right around that area. But I do go to Seaside Heights when I'm there, because they still have the house with like the Italian flag on the it's kind of a pilgrimage for me.
You have
Because
to pass over the train tracks. I don't know why that makes sense, but like once you pass the train tracks, you're in the Jersey, section where
Jesse, do you
abs
go
and stuff.
Do you go to the gym when you're there?
I gym, I tan, I laundry.
I was about to say, do you spray tan?
Yeah.
Spray tan?
Do you get like a slight Guido accent the longer you're there?
Do you
Yeah.
spike your hair with gel?
Yeah, I mean it's like in the baskets at the rental house, you know. They
It's
have,
already in the welcoming basket that you
they
get
have
when you go
that
in.
gel that's like the green with like
Number
the bubbles
9?
in it.
Yeah,
with
number
the bubbles
9.
in it.
With the
Yeah.
bubbles in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Extra
smells
firm.
Smells like sour apple, you know.
Yes. How did it?
LA Looks,
Is
right?
that
Was
a-
it called
LA
LA
Looks?
Looks, right? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It
There was
comes with a
orange, pink.
tub. With a tub of LA Looks.
Should be
And then
Jersey
complimentary muscle tees as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
If
So-
you want a T-shirt that says, I'm Italian and proud, it's Seaside Heights. That's where you're gonna get it. But
Jesse, do
don't
you have
get
one of
that on
those
nice side.
airbrush T-shirts of a bikini body, like an oversized?
Oh,
Cameron,
classy.
you've been to where I am right now.
Yes,
there
I
are no
have.
shortage.
Yeah,
I
of
think when
those.
it comes to wildly inappropriate T-shirts, we far outweigh any beach in the country. They
I
were
would
actually
agree.
thinking in the local newspaper, they're actually thinking about passing a law to prevent stores from selling like just outrageous T-shirts. Because that's how offensive T-shirts are getting.
They're getting
and
pretty bad.
They were bad 3 or 4 years ago. They're getting worse. Wow.
I just want to be clear. Cameron's question was, do you own any of those shirts, Jesse?
Yeah. Do you?
I
have-
mean, yeah,
deflecting.
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to.
He's like, we don't have a mall. This is where I have to buy my clothes. What do you?
Yeah, this is where.
One time my
this is
shirt
how
got
people
dirty. I
shop.
just needed to buy something quick, and it just happened to fit my size.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
get
great.
they get
justifying
timely.
it.
I get to hide in the baggy shirt, and I can airbrush a good body and a good physique. On
They
it.
only
So
had a
it's like,
woman's version, but we took it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, now they're getting like timely. Like it'll be like Epstein jokes and stuff, or like.
Oh,
I guarantee you
okay.
right now, I could find an inappropriate T-shirt making a reflecting pool, like at Washington.
Oh wow,
DC
that
joke.
quick! It's like quick,
Oh,
like
yeah.
up to date. Wow.
Yeah,
That's fast fashion for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though. Remember, Cameron, when all the tariff things happened? I think it was last year. We're in Yellowstone, and I saw a shirt that said "I love tariffs" on it with the Chinese like in a heart flag, trying to flag in the heart. And I was like, I'm buying it. It was very timely, and I got it. And sometimes things go that quick. But
do you like a year later? Do you wear it or do you give it away?
No. I wore it like once, and I wore it for a music video, and I was like, I'm not gonna wear this again.
You wore it for a music video?
Because things move so quick that then you can't wear it anymore. People are like, why are you wearing that shirt? And it's just like the news cycle moves too quick.
Yeah.
I love the idea of someone who is just like chronically online or chronically informed in the back of a shop, just like cranking out timely T-shirts every single day.
ChatGPT-ing it up the whole time.
Let me take this rip from the headline story and make it a crude joke with like a very suggestive pun and print it on.
I survived the memorial update. Like it's always something like that. I survived. Oh.
Jesse, you live in an area where you're probably the only person in the world who goes on a classy vacation to the Jersey Shore.
Listen, we have nice areas, pretty but rough.
You live where you vacation. Like you just went back to home in a different state.
Just relocated to the same environment.
Yeah, it's like going from Miami to California Beach. Like you're just going to beach to beach.
You are doing a lot of PR for the Jersey Shore, so I hope they give you a discount on your next vacation. Because they really are having to fight against the MTV stereotypes. And also the one episode of It's Always Sunny where I think they go to Jersey Shore, which obviously they're not painting it in a good light either. So
yeah, that's probably the most obscene depiction of Jersey Shore.
So you said you were the whole takeaway from your vacation was that you were obscenely good at carnival games and you didn't tell us what you won.
Well, the only I've won a game every time I've gone there, and these games are rigged against you. I did one this time. My son and his buddy wanted. There was a basketball hoop near the house, and they really wanted basketball. We didn't have one, so we happened to be at the carnival, and they had like this little basketball game where if you made it, you won a real size basketball, but you could see that the rim was tiny, right? Sure. That the ball would barely fit in it. I credit playing so much pool basketball because, as we've talked exhaustively on this podcast, there's only one way to make a jump shot in pool basketball, and that is a perfect swish. Just how those rims are designed. First shot, nothing but net. You could tell the guy, he didn't even know how to access the prize basketballs. He had to get like a ladder. He's never done it before.
He's like, I got to borrow a ladder now to reach it. It's high.
How much did you pay for that basketball?
$10. $10, but
it's not bad.
Yeah, well, I will say if you saw the basketball, it was rubber, and it had like the purple panel, yellow panel, and a big 24. So it's kind of an unofficial Kobe basketball, but
it's kind of the kind
they didn't have any Lamar,
like the kind that Five Below are nicer than it. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. These were definitely discount. Remember the old Pizza Hut balls where Pizza Hut used to? It was one of those. It's going to develop
the rubber kind of like the grip like just evaporates in your hand somehow.
It gets like a bubble on it. Like
it'll get
it bounces like the other way when you bounce down. It goes left. Okay.
Listen, it worked for like the 3 days we had left on vacation, so that's what's important.
Did you pick the Kobe ball or did he pick it for you?
It was between that, a Rutgers ball, which looked a little off book too,
And you met Lamar Odom wearing a purple suit, so you got to tie into the purple.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he would have signed it if he was a very nice guy, to honor his boy, Kobe. R.I.P.
All right. Let's get the show going.
Transition. All right.
I was like, I don't know how to get out of that one, so let's move the show along. Stay tuned. After this break, Emily's going to bring Relevant Buzz.
Relevant Buzz.
It's time for Relevant Buzz. Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
Okay, so the World Cup is currently happening on U.S. soil right now, in case you haven't noticed. I know. A lot of people apparently online have also found out that we have a U.S. soccer team. I've seen some comments about that. It's been, I will say, I think I have not watched a single game. I have watched a lot of the social media reaction to the games, and that has been...
Wait, to the games or to Buc-ee's?
I guess really reactions to Europeans experiencing America for the first time.
It's so pervasive. My mom, who is not on social media, asked me at lunch yesterday, "Hey, have you watched any Final Cup game or World Cup games?" I was like, "No," and she's like, "Oh, well, have you seen the reactions of the Europeans loving American stuff?" It's gotten to her, like she knows about it and has watched it and stuff. So yeah.
It's the equivalent of someone watching a Four Seasons and realizing the Jersey Shore is actually not that bad. is what's happening with Europeans who visit America. They're like, oh, they've got a bad rap all these years.
So Buc-ee's and Waffle House, that's the Jersey Shore of American culture is what we're really expanding it to. I can't wait for them to actually go to the Jersey Shore and experience.
Well, I mean, the final game's at MetLife Stadium, not too far away. They could pop right down.
Is that the one on July 4th?
No, I mean it's like July 16th or something is the final, but there's like 6 matches at MetLife Stadium.
Well,
there's plenty of people.
I keep seeing people talk about there is a possibility that on July 4th the U.S. could play England in Philadelphia on the 250-year anniversary.
Oh, that's amazing!
Wow.
So if that happens, that's some big stakes for the U.S. team.
The irony of July 4th, 250th anniversary of our country, I will be in Canada on July 4th this year.
Traitor.
Anyway.
And why is that?
I'm just going to be in Vancouver because that's where the cruise ends up.
Yeah, and that's the best part of the cruise, by the way, is the Vancouver. There's a Chinese restaurant there that is the best Chinese food you've ever had in your entire life.
Tips. I need tips because we get in the morning and I ask Cohen, do you want to fly right home or do you want to hang out in Vancouver for the day? So we're taking the red eye.
Vancouver
so we're going to be there all
is
day.
the best part of the whole cruise. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Agree.
The weather, everything, the Chinese food, the people, it's amazing.
I feel like you at least have to eat like a cheeseburger. Something American. You can't eat
a
Chinese
Canadian
food,
cheeseburger is going to be like moose meat or something.
You need some freedom fries.
Yeah,
we got to bring that back.
We'll figure out something. I'll just wear my MAGA hat.
There you go.
Okay,
right,
back to
I can get you probably a reflecting pool shirt with a pretty funny pun on it.
That's awesome.
I'm sure. I don't know if they're following
with a questionable pun on it. Yeah.
I would wear that. That would be great. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
Okay, back to Team USA.
Yes.
So aside from all of the European American content, what's been really interesting to see too is Team USA has been very outspoken about their faith throughout the entire World Cup. You guys may have seen a couple of those viral moments after games where they gathered around for like a prayer circle and prayed not only with each other but with like the other team. That is not just like a gimmick or of trying to go viral moment. That is genuinely like an extension of a lot of the players' faith. So each week, the team, they do a Bible study together led by team captain Christian Pulisic. He's been very outspoken about his faith over the years. And then there's also players like defender Mark McKenzie, who also very outspoken about his faith. Nearly every single interview I was looking into him, he always finds a way to mention God. I'm actually going to play a clip of an interview where he was talking about transitioning to France after college and how it was a really big transition and he had to lean on God to get through that season. Here's the clip I wanted to share.
There is nowhere we can go where our good shepherd won't follow us, as long as we keep our hearts open to him. Being a Christian isn't about religion, it's about relationship. My relationship with Christ was the only thing and the one thing that provided peace through it all, that provided hope through it all, and that provided a sense of calmness in the midst of whatever turbulent times there were.
Well, look at that. So how many of them are Christians? Do we know?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you the exact number. There was so many. There's like I said, the two I mentioned, Chris Richards, there's Christian Roldan. Like there's so many players that just in several interviews are saying more than just the typical like, thanks God for being with us, but like are actually sharing their faith. I know one of the goalkeepers, Matt Freese, he mentioned those Bible studies that the captain has been doing for years. That was actually how he first got connected with a lot of the players. So they've held like a really years-long bond connecting over their faith.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. I was just fishing to see if Alex Freeman was one of them. He was the kid who scored the first 2 goals in the last win, on Friday last week. He's an Orlando City kid. He came up literally through the Orlando City youth program.
That's awesome.
For like 3 or 4 years and then got called up to the MLS Orlando City team. And then he just has now a breakout star.
Oh, wow.
Team USA. It was like a little homegrown Florida kid.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway,
I always wonder how that works with the youth, because I know like in Europe, it seems
it's the same way. So in America, they have the MLS and then they have MLS B teams, which is a league called MLS Next Pro. And it's like 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. So Orlando City has their B team. Youth, they move to Orlando. He's from Fort Lauderdale. So he stayed with one of the other players' families.
Did they pay them as children?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's just like in Europe. So like, you'll get dorm and stipend and whatever, and you're developing at a professional academy.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the pro team. Europe does this too. I mean, if you watch the Wrexham show at all, they have an academy.
This seems semi-legal to me. Like,
and then they're developing talent, and then they call them up to their major league team, which is exactly what happened with Alex Freeman. And he had a break his rookie year on Orlando City. He made the All-Star team, MLS All-Star team. And then he made Team USA. Like, this is all in the last 18 months. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why can't they do it with football or basketball? Why is it only soccer?
Why
is it illegal?
Because we have youth sports and we have high school and we have college. We don't need academies for those sports. I don't know. It's a European
Soccer's
way.
Pretty huge, yeah.
Anyway,
if you do the same thing in football, it's illegal. So
true.
I was gonna say, Jesse, what about this feels less than legal to you?
Well, child labor laws. Like if you're hiring like a 12-year-old to play professional sports, I don't really care. It seems like, are we allowed to do this? Like,
I think they have to be
I know they kind of have
16.
different laws over there.
I think they just like provide a living and a livelihood for them to come. It's like a boarding school that is provided for free, like a scholarship. You know what I mean?
It's cool though.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, Alex Freeman, everybody. All right. So Team USA, Christians. So we root for the Christians. This is like back in the Roman Colosseum days. Christians.
It's very important to know. Is it more than half the team? Because otherwise, I got to pick a new one.
Right. We got to go with the majority Christian team.
Yeah,
I will say there are a lot of outspoken Christians on other teams. We actually did an article where we highlighted several different Christian athletes or Christian soccer players on different teams, not just Team USA. So
it's a lot of the Latin American teams and African teams, not the secular pagan European teams. Those people hate God. So
Nigeria, they're all Christian. They have some other ones.
Yeah, probably.
Argentina,
Catholic.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Emily. Sorry. Next.
Yeah. Moving on. So Steven Spielberg just dropped his latest movie, Disclosure Day, in theaters. It's doing pretty well. I know Cameron's seen it. Jesse, Marty, have y'all gotten to see it yet?
I was trying to see Toy Story actually before I get to Disclosure Day. Every day for us is Disclosure Day, so it's kind of hard to, step out and to see something that I'm living through.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it, but I did read all the I been anticipating this for a while, but I've been reading too much about it along the way where I still plan on seeing it, but I feel like I know too much about the movie to really be surprised, But
why would you ruin a movie like that? You do this with other movies. You read the recaps.
I can't help myself.
Before you watch
Jesse,
it.
I'm just like you, bro. I do it sometimes. I do it sometimes.
Why? What's the fun in that?
I just want to know what I'm getting into.
I want to know if it's good or not, but I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I'll read a review and then I'm like, well, now I'm kind of curious. Just
so watch it.
Yeah.
I think of it like I just read the book before I went to see the movie,
Yeah.
The book is only
exactly
3 paragraphs, though. On movie spoilers.
On Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia, 100%.
Sorry, Cameron, I actually agree with them. I don't believe in spoilers, so I think you're on a lone island on this one.
I don't. It's so weird.
Either
I can't
way.
wait to see it done.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I still will see it. I just know too. Like I'm not gonna have a lot of time. Like I rarely get out to the movies, so I want to be a part of the discourse. So might as well read what it's about.
We spontaneously saw it. It was Saturday night, and I was like, "Hey, you want to see Disclosure Day tonight?" And he was like, "Yeah." And we watched it, and I have thoughts. And we're driving home, and he goes, "That's a great way to spend a Saturday night." And I'm like, seeing a movie with your dad? Well, that's great.
That's awesome.
That's what they said. I was like, all right.
What are your thoughts, real quick, before we get to the?
Well, before we get into it, for anyone who doesn't know what Disclosure Day is about, the brief premise is that the government has been hiding aliens for decades, and a group of citizens is going to disclose the truth. And obviously, people are going to try to prevent that from happening.
I'm not going to see it. Thanks, Emily.
You spoiled it.
I didn't know it was about aliens.
I thought it was illegal aliens. No, I'm going to not watch it.
No.
Yeah, it's set on the Mexican border.
I just thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was.
I thought it was about the early aughts alternative rock band Disclosure, and then having a big comeback. Is it not?
Right. Yeah, it's a biopic leading up to their big comeback concert, which is held on Disclosure Day. Yeah.
Well, that was actually the end credit scene, so that was a spoiler. But
Yeah.
Like I said though, like I am like y'all where I like spoilers, so I actually had to see this like within a few 48 hours of it coming out because otherwise I would start seeing the spoilers and stuff. But I did have an interest before because just because it's Spielberg, but also like a week before the movie dropped, Steven sat down with CBS for an interview to talk about it. And there was one moment where he mentioned that the film kind of wrestles with faith a little bit. I'm going to play the clip so you guys can hear what all he has to say, and then I'll tell you my thoughts about that.
Announced, yes, we have been keeping this from you since 1947. That would mess up a lot of people. And the movie also takes the position of the church. What does this do to the fundamental beliefs that many of us have? And, is God our God only on this planet? Or is God a God for every system where there's civilization, intelligent life, and even developing life?
So I saw that clip, and I'm going to be honest, I thought that was just like a random side comment he made, or honestly like a marketing tactic to get believers to theaters to see this. It just felt odd and out of place from everything that I'd seen in the trailer. And so when I went in to see it, I went in very blind, and I was pleasantly surprised that, I mean, it's not a Christian movie by any means, but there is definitely like a pretty decent role that faith plays in the film. And it comes up several times, characters questioning what faith does to it. I was really struck by that because I was not expecting it. And so I hesitate spoiling that part of it because, again, I don't want to make it seem like this is a Christian movie. But he brought up like some really interesting thoughts and points about faith and what the disclosure of aliens could do to our faith that I liked.
See, so I appreciate that take. And on Friday, I read at relevantmagazine.com a headline that Emily wrote a review of the movie, and it said, Disclosure Day is not about aliens, it's about God. And so when I went to see it, I'm expecting we're going to wrestle with this. Like this is going to be like a Relevant podcast episode where Jesse's really fired up, It was mentioned like twice. It was
mentioned more than twice.
I wasn't as... See, this is why you don't want to spoil something before you see it. I probably would have the same reaction as you if it surprised me, but then I had high expectations of it because of you. And
I kind of, if I watch it, I would probably be looking for it now, looking for the face.
Emily, I haven't seen it, but I appreciate your take. You can go read a boring review anywhere.
I appreciate her take too. I appreciated the take more than I appreciated the content of the movie.
I think what also clicked with me was, one of the actors in the film is Josh O'Connor, who was in Wake Up Dead Man 6 months ago, the Rian Johnson film that was much more about faith, and like faith was a really big part.
Well, he played a priest in the entire movie.
Yes. But and so that struck me of like, in 6 months, Josh O'Connor's been in 2 different movies where faith was kind of unexpectedly dealt with in a very serious and genuine way. Maybe it wasn't the main point of the film, but I think I at least appreciated that faith has been brought up and they're taking it seriously. It's not like an aside. They're not making fun of it. Like they are genuinely wrestling with it.
I would have fully expected a science-driven alien movie to trivialize those dumb Christians.
Right.
And it didn't do that. It didn't. So
well, because I mean, the whole idea of like the concept of the film, how would humanity react to this news? I think the central question, adjacent to that is how would this affect people's faith,
theology,
right? Yeah. And so
I don't know if it would affect anybody though, would it? Like in general, like we have had so much, revelation of aliens and all these things, and nothing's really changed though. So piece of me feels like, if this did happen, would it?
We've had this conversation ad nauseum where it's like, at the end of the day, the Bible doesn't say there's no other intelligent life.
Yeah.
It's an expansive universe, and God's a creative God, powerful God. It just says that humans were made in his image, and we have a soul. And it doesn't say that about any other of his creations, right? And so to me, I just liken alien and intelligent life to that. I mean, gorillas are intelligent, whales are intelligent. I mean, it's like,
you're right.
Could there be other worlds where intelligent life exists? Okay.
Yeah.
Intelligent life lives here on Earth too. So it's like, that's where I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't change me at all.
I do think the thing to point out about that conversation is that's one that we have all had in this podcast multiple times. Absolutely. There are many believers and non-believers who have never once had that question. And so I think I'm curious to see, will this movie spark more of a conversation, not just on the Relevant podcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's a trailer. If you haven't seen Disclosure Day, here's a trailer of it. You can see if God exists or if aliens are real.
Okay.
For yourself. Here you go.
Okay.
I am much more inclined now than I was when I made Close Encounters to really believe that we're not the only intelligent civilization in the universe.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth.
This is a story about us. All of us.
Good morning, Kansas City.
Up against the most extraordinary event in human history.
All right, moving on to the very last thing. I actually want to end on relevant recommends, which we haven't done in a few weeks. But I recently got to
Nothing worth recommending. It's been a dry. Sorry, we just had other things on the show. Sorry,
it's been a summer schedule. We've been traveling a lot, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys didn't miss my recent conversation with Sondae, who is this amazing indie R&B Christian artist based in the UK. He's been dropping some incredible music for a few years now, but his latest project is an album called Boy. And after speaking with him, it honestly just made me love the project more because this was a really personal album for him. He tells a lot of like his story and his testimony on it, and I just wanted you guys to hear what he had to say. So here's some of my conversation with him. I am curious, how do you feel about sort of the responsibility that you have of like, you have all these people listening to you, kind of looking to you for guidance. Like, how do you deal with that when you're writing a song?
I try to stay true to Jesus no matter what, because as an artist, like, I don't see the impact I have outside my four walls in my studio. I don't see it. But out there's people that have their lives changed out of one verse, out of a single song, 10 seconds. But in terms of my responsibility, I try to stay true to Jesus. And also, I'll be honest, I've been struggling with comparison, which is something I've been actively fighting and navigating, even especially when you see like there's a mix in our culture that, I don't know, confuses anointing with popularity and numbers. And I used to be good at ignoring it, but now it's so loud. It's like, oh man, I don't know what's legit anymore. Am I even legit? Am I doing this for the right intentions? Am I doing this truly? See, I've been steering from that. But in terms of responsibility, when it comes to like something foundational, I try to stay true to Jesus no matter what. I feel like that's the best way out of this madness.
Pages of your book of life. I will dream aloud, Almighty God. It's my place to hide, Almighty God.
You mentioned kind of like wrestling with that tension, which I think is something so many people wrestle with, just no matter where they're at in life. How is that impacting the music that you're creating now?
When it comes to making music and actually doing the real thing, I sober up quick, and I stick to what I've been put here to do no matter what. Even though behind the scenes I may struggle with all of that, but when I come back to the surface, one deep breath, do what the Lord has called you to, and then I have brothers that help me. They remind me daily, like, you're more than all of these things. Like, the Lord is with you truly, and his anointing doesn't come down to just these extras.
You are my everything, so I decide to rely on the truth. I don't want lies. Jesus, you promised to be on my side. Something new, give me something new. I see birds flying high, they don't think about money. Flowers rise in the field, they still giving out honey. Even wine can't be poured into our own skin. Something new, give me something new.
I spent some time in 2025 just trying to do things on my own strength, just trying to understand things on my own, and it just wouldn't go anywhere. So I was like, God, I wanna be like a boy. I wanna be like a child. No matter what happens, I'm dependent on you. So this album is a perpetual motion of a temporary phase. It's like I understand what my dad went through. Now that I'm older, I understand what he went through. He his dad died when he was 15, and then he had to take over his dad's painting business, and he had to make sure all 7 of his other siblings went to high school. And when they all went to high school, his dad's business failed, and then he went to high school himself in his 20s. But he still pushed through. He got a master's degree. He bagged the girl way out of his league. and then me and my sisters were born. But I don't think my dad ever had the chance to experience what becoming a man gradually was like. So he always told me, he raised me up kind of fenced up, guard up, being hyper decisive, and laser focus on everything. But only later in life, I would say recently in the past 7 years, he came to realize that it was the Lord that held him all along. So my dad comes back to me and he teaches me a new lesson. And he says, no matter how much of a man you become, to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must remain a boy at heart. So that's what this album revolves around. Me becoming a man, but looking at the man who came before me and looking at the God who's above me.
All right, for more of that conversation, check out relevantmagazine.com. We have that and a lot of other great music and interviews. Thanks, Emily. All right, stay tuned. After this break, we actually have a conversation with Jessica Koulianos. Well, our guest today is Pastor Jessica Koulianos. She's the co-founder of Jesus Image, which is here in Orlando, actually, with her husband, Michael. Over the last few years, she and millions of others have witnessed a growing interest in faith, particularly among Gen Z. But interest doesn't always equal growth. And so Emily talked with her to discuss what it actually looks like to grow closer to God, not the surface level version, but the real work of going deep in your relationship. And I'll tell you this, we're about to toss to that conversation. I've attended every kind of church, right? Over the years. I've been around
especially
a long time.
in Orlando. You've had everything.
For real. I've been around the block a handful of times. And I try to not church hop. I try to stay for many, many years. And I've had, I don't know, but I'll cheat on my church by watching other churches on Instagram and stuff, you know? And I've been following Jesus Image for a while, and I just am so impacted by it that last month I looked it up on a map, and it's 8 minutes from my house.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
so we went, because I'm going, it's special. What I'm watching online is special. I mean, it's Upper Room, it's Bethel, it's Circuit Riders, it's there's this new move coming. And it's not just the worship stuff, the depth of teaching. It's also an interesting thing where it's blending, I would say, Upper Room type charismatic worship with ancient church, traditional church, the Eucharist, the Nicene Creed, they're doing communion. There's this weight and there's this historical overlay to it all, which is very, very interesting to me. Anyway, been going for last month. It is powerful. It is a special place, and I get it. And we're seeing Michael and Jessica Koulianos speaking at just like VooCon.
I was about to say, every
cool.
person that I spoke to about VooCon, like, you know, I've been to VooCon for 10 years. You know, like was the original team of the church, and I love Rich. He married me and my wife. And I've seen every pastor come through Voo. You know, you've seen the big guys, small guys, guys who no longer exist. And every single person that I spoke to, because I was in Florida that week, was like, he was so different than anything that, you know, he's not like Carl Lentz.
He's not flashy.
He's
not flashy at all.
He's not flashy at all. He's not like he'll win you with his personality. He is so just dynamic in the way that his serious tone, that they said, every person told me that he was the highlight of the entire conference. And it almost is shifting VOO conference, because, you know, usually you have the who's popular right now, who's the big name.
Right.
But this guy brought it home in a really great way. So I actually now am diving into Jesus Image Church as well. So,
dude, I'm telling you, Michael Koulianos, my first sermon at the church was Pentecost Sunday. And he taught not only on, you know, the scriptural, you know, but he taught on how the ancient church has honored. This is a big deal day. Megachurch culture we live in doesn't even get acknowledged. And it's like, it was a very significant part of the church calendar. And that was the first sermon. And literally Cohen and I, as we're leaving, he's like, he said, can you imagine this? Amazing worship. It was like an hour-long worship service. And then the sermon was maybe like half an hour, 25 minutes. And Cohen leaving, 16-year-old kid leaving, goes, I wish worship was shorter and the sermon was longer. That was amazing.
Wow. That just says everything about that
I'm telling you. And so anyway, Jessica, co-leader and equally powerful. She, if you don't know this trivia, is the daughter of Benny Hinn.
Oh,
so
that's the connection there too. If I'm not mistaken, then I've heard that Benny Hinn openly had said this in one of he spoke at a conference where he's saying that his son has reshaped his theology.
Okay, this is what's crazy. I go to lunch with my parents yesterday, and my parents introduced Benny and his wife and have known the family forever. I mean, they were friends back in the 70s. And my mom said, I watched a Benny Hinn sermon. He spoke last month somewhere, and I haven't seen him teach in years. And she said, there was a depth to his teaching that I've never seen before. And there was a seriousness and a weight to the content. And she's like, I don't know what's happened with him. And so I kind of went back and looked it up, and he actually spoke at the Sunday night service at Jesus Image last week. And she's right. I don't know what happened with him.
Yeah,
it's interesting that he's tying it back to Jesus.
Yeah, he literally was like, my son-in-law. He's like, and actually, he goes, I had to repent. Even Benny Hinn was like, I had to repent because he's like, I actually had it all wrong, and you just get sucked into this culture, TV and stuff. And he's like, now I'm going back. What do I believe? And that sometimes you see these leaders and they're so dynamic. When you see them vulnerable, it almost catches you off guard. You're like, oh, this is the guy who knows how to talk to everyone, do everything. And then, I never seen him like this. And so watching him talk, I was definitely shocked. And so I showed my mom, like Benny Hinn had a church in Orlando, all about that, it's his whole ministry was there. So,
but it was like crazy and like, whatever. I don't want to say that because maybe Jessica's watching. I don't mean to say that. But
no,
but it was known as being more centric. And and
she
so
has to know the stuff.
The fact that she came up through that and Michael as well for years. And even Sam Hinn, Benny's brother, was a pastor at the Gathering Place. There was a lot of tie-ins there. Very charismatic, ultra charismatic. The fact that they're rooting this in like the traditional church, it's fully charismatic and fully liturgical leaning. It's
really
so
great.
I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
And I can't look away. And now I get to go 8 minutes from my house and be there on Sundays, which is really special. Anyway, here's Emily's conversation with Jessica Koulianos.
I wanted to ask about, I feel like sometimes we maybe overcomplicate spiritual maturity and we make it either like a checklist or we just put so much pressure on it. But like you said, it's just looking like Jesus every day. So what are some ways that we can just kind of make sure we're not overcomplicating it and making it this difficult thing to achieve and instead just something to kind of walk in?
Yeah. Well, so it's all about fellowship and intimacy with Jesus. So I grew up in church and I mean, I thought that I was very blessed to grow up the way that I did, but I never knew how to have my own relationship with Jesus for myself. So the way that you make sure that you don't get caught in the weeds and overcomplicate it, because we can be like our worst enemies sometimes. We can be like our worst critics. And when you have intimacy with Jesus, everything flows from that. So like an example, I'm married to Michael. I love him. Because we walk in true intimacy and there's a deep connection, I'm not waking up every day going, how do I please Michael? I'm not thinking like that. I'm just going like, he's my husband. We are one. We live in fellowship with one another. We are deeply connected. There's parts of a marriage relationship that is not meant for the crowds. It's not even meant for your children. You know what I mean? Like it's just for you. There's a deep connection, but that is how our walk is with Jesus. Of course, we need to go to church and be with other believers, as I just said. But if you have no time alone with Jesus, if you're just getting by just by going to a ministry school or events or a church or watching podcasts, which again, we do all these things. I love it. But if you have no time where you're just connecting with you and Jesus, then you do get caught up in the weeds a little bit. And then performance and all this stuff like comes in where you start to believe you have to do something to keep him. And no, we're married to him. He loves us so much. And so that's that's probably the easiest way to break it down. Like, I just dwell with Michael because we actually have a good marriage, and we walk together, and we fellowship, and we have intimacy and real love. And when you fall in love with Jesus, when you don't fall in love with religion, but you fall in love with the man Christ Jesus, who is fully God, fully man, like, then it changes everything for you, because you now, like, I love how my husband kind of says it, like, you don't have to walk around. He uses this example, like, if our kids walked around and said, I'm Michael Koulianos' son, I'm Michael Koulianos' son, I'm Michael Koulianos' son, or I'm Michael Koulianos' daughter, that'd be weird. You'd be like, hey, you have an identity issue. I think you've got some insecurity there, because, like, you don't need to tell us like who you're related to. Like, you just should know who you are. But it's the same way with Jesus. Like, you don't have to produce works and try to muster up things to feel accepted by him or by others. You need to walk in real sonship, knowing like, I am a child of Christ. He loves me with an everlasting love. He loves me with no conditions. But again, you have to come to him. That's the piece that I have to stress. Like, you can't just get by and never talk to him and think that you're going to feel full with the presence of Jesus. You have to actually be with him and talk to him with prayer and just reading the word like we just talked about. So that's key to me.
Yeah. I would love to know, for someone who, maybe like you said, like maybe they also grew up in church and without realizing it just kind of slipped into sort of a routine, and they're not having that intimacy, and maybe their eyes are being awakened right now and they're realizing that. What is maybe a good first step or some questions they can ask themselves to get them back to that intimacy with the Lord?
Yeah. Um, just, I know it sounds so like just routine and or just so basic, I should say, but spending time with him. So, like, I did not feel like I was close to God the way that I wanted to be. And I would watch my husband, and I would watch people that I loved walk with Jesus, and they would talk about him like they really knew him. And I did not have that kind of relationship with him personally. Like, I loved him. I was a Christian, but I mean, I also was living very bound with fear and a lot of stuff. And so for me personally, I had to, and this is for anyone that wants to just get closer to Jesus, you have to actually make the time for him. So I know this sounds so silly, but for me, like, I would put a timer on my phone, and I would go into my room, and I would shut the door, and I would open up the scriptures and just start reading it. And sometimes I didn't want to read it, and I'd get bored, and I'd be like, why do I need to, like, I've read this before, like all these things. And I would just start reading the scripture and then start worshiping the Lord. I'd pray. And little by little, it became part of my daily walk, to the point where I didn't feel myself if I wasn't being with Jesus. And again, for someone like me, I'm not very disciplined. Michael was an athlete, like he was a professional athlete. So, he's probably one of the most disciplined people I know. That is not me. I'm not disciplined. I am very type A, but I'm not the most disciplined person. And I get distracted really easy. Like, I swear I have like ADHD. Like, I don't want to speak that on myself, but I'm like, I really like,
Yeah.
I get distracted, and I try to do many things all at once. And so, I had to get it to the point where I was like, no, you are not leaving this room, Jess, until you have given the Lord an hour today. And then an hour felt like 5 minutes. And, it just became part of my routine. So it's just, you actually have to just make space for that. You can't just add the Lord on your day.
All right. That was Jessica Koulianos. If you want to see more of that conversation, go to relevantmagazine.com. We have it, or you can see clips on social and stuff. Also, check out Jesus Image. They have conferences. They have a lot of social media content. It's worth observing. It's worth seeing what God's doing in this kind of a new stream of depth and what can we say? It's not respect. It's like there's a honor. There's a something about the tradition,
like a reverence. Yeah,
there's a reverence. That's the word I was looking for. There's a movement of reverence.
And I've been waiting for that. for me personally, I have been waiting for that because I just have felt like we've been doing church as normal. And I mean, we talked about it even at, in Montana. That's one of the struggles a lot of us are having right now with church in general. It just feels like you guys are in a different world than we are. And
rinse and repeat. I don't care about gimmicks. I don't care about the movies. And now we're going to do our
watch Shrek. I can watch Shrek at home and then have the,
It's so inch deep. And it's like I'm just crying out for something more. Yeah. And I'm glad to see that I'm not alone. There's a movement of people who want more. And I see it happening, and it's exciting.
You heard it here first on Relevant.
Jesus Culture. Go, everybody. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices.
Slices.
Okay, it's time for Slices. What do you have, Jesse?
All right. Well, I'm interested in your guys' thoughts on this. There is a project that just got approved in Turkey called the Noah's Ark scans that will basically allow a team to go in and scan a section near Mount Ararat where people have long suspected to be the home of Noah's Ark. And this could define definitive proof that Noah's Ark exists if they find something. There are skeptics that this area is the home of the Ark, but some people will say like the way that the mountain is formed looks like this could be a buried Ark. I think it's cool. I think you should go for it. I am a little on the skeptical side. To me, it seems like something made out of wood from tens of thousands of years ago.
Wet wood.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this expedition? Like I said, I think it's cool, but I don't know.
I think it's cool. I'm with you though. I'm like statistically, we're not going to find the full arc. So like, what are they expecting to find? It's just.
Well, first of all, so to describe it, there's this plateau next to Mount Ararat that's kind of oblong shaped, kind of boat shaped, honestly, very, very large. But it's odd because it's like in a mountainous area and it's kind of like this flat area that a boat could have rested on, right? Okay. So how did it get buried? First of all, okay, but anyway. So they finally got permission to go and drill down, and they're going to take basically core samples and see if there's any organic material like wood way down. That's what they're looking for. So needle in a haystack, they come back with nothing. And I mean, like what how does this change anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, if my mom sends me another AI they found Noah's Ark video, are we still looking? Like, my mom she's like, they found it, and she's like, I'm like, Mom, this is completely AI. Don't you know that? She's not.
Yeah, come on, Mom.
It's not.
Come on, get off Facebook, Mom.
Yeah, 100% on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, I'm with you, Jesse. I don't know. I'm like. What are we trying to prove here?
Maybe.
I feel like I do know enough. Also, I know enough. Like, if we find it, great. If we don't, I know enough. You know.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? You asked us.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
You have, like I said, I think sure, why not? But I also have no reason to believe that the wood would. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but to me, like the whole thing of like proving the Bible,
yeah,
I don't know if that's necessarily the best pursuit because I feel like faith still has to be a part of the thing. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't want to fully push back on that, but I did actually speak to an author, Jeremiah Johnston, who wrote a book called The Jesus Discoveries, where he talked about 10 discoveries that have recently happened that prove our faith in different ways. He did not mention the Ark because obviously that hasn't been discovered yet, but he was talking about there is obviously faith is first and foremost what we need, but that proof can also help us, and that it is a good thing. I just want to highlight that conversation on relevantmagazine.com.
What if they find it and there's just a whole bunch of animal bodies in it? Like no one got out of this ark. It's like the ark that
the animals wouldn't exist then.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dinosaur bodies inside of it. It's just
a bunch of cool animals
petrified.
We didn't even know were there.
The one had the dinosaurs and all these like rare
all the coolest animals.
Amphibians, and it's all petrified inside of the wood. That would make me feel better. I'm not gonna lie.
And also, I mean, I would say, I went to a BioLogos conference years ago, and grew up in the church, young earth creation is all I was taught. And I learned there as an adult that there's actually 6 historical and orthodox and accepted beliefs on the creation story that are all Christian, and they're all very different interpretations of Genesis 1. And they all believe that the Bible confirms their theory, right? Well, nobody was there. And so it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I respect it, and I really am glad to know all six and kind of learn about them. And it actually changed my perspective on what I was taught. But there's equally, I'm bringing this up because there's equally different theories about the ark and the flood and what that moment was in the oral history or in the Bible, or is it metaphor, and all these different things. They're all Christian interpretations of that story in the Bible. And it's like, who knows? We weren't there, so whatever. All right. What do you have, Marty?
All right. I don't know if you guys have heard about this yet. There's a guy who is pastor, actually. His name is Michael Olson, and he preached, trying to break the world record, Guinness World Record, preached a 96-hour sermon. All right. He preached it. Yeah, I know. It's a very long sermon. He actually, the best part of the story is that, when you go to like a retreat or a camp or something and you get really excited about the Lord and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then like afterwards, it kind of dies down a little bit. Well, for this guy, did not, because after he got out of this evangelism retreat, he was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to preach for 96 hours. The world record at the time was done by, I believe, a pastor in Africa for 90 hours. And they followed the complete Guinness World Record format, which he's allowed to have like 5-minute breaks and if he has to go to the bathroom, whatever. And he did it. The funniest part about it, though, is that it actually cost $16,000 to get the approval of like Guinness. And they're like, that's a waste of our money. But he just felt like it was really important for him to preach for 96 hours. And actually, all of the live stream is available on the church's site as well. But what do you guys think about that? 96 hours of preaching, that's a lot. He went through the whole Bible here.
Listen, did people sit and listen for 96 hours?
No one's in the, I mean, there's some people in the beginning, and then you can see people, you could see, you see the back of people's heads, you start seeing a head do this. So I'm like, is that person laying down in the front? Like, it was one of those like, but if you really think about it, IHOP, not the restaurant, but the church at the time, they were doing 24/7 worship preaching. So they've been doing that for the idea of just worship constantly playing. But yeah, he preached for 96 hours.
In the early 2000s, that was a thing. A lot of churches
that was a big
like
thing, right?
See, I think I could do worship for 24/7. I don't think I can sit and listen
I know
to a man talk for 96 hours straight.
Yeah,
I've been to some services where it felt like the sermon went on for 96 hours. We were talking earlier about the desire for depth in teaching.
Yeah,
he went for breadth of teaching.
Yeah. He really went. Yeah, and he was like, I wonder if like also he like maybe lost track of time or something. Like 96 hours is a long time.
He had a hype man. He had a guy like giving him a water bottle and a towel, toweling his forehead. Literally, in the image of this that we ran on the website, I screenshotted that moment where a guy came up. It was like a boxer in the ring. It was hilarious.
The pastor's like leaning on one side, like trying to talk, and it's But if you guys want to hear a 96-hour sermon it's available, and you can check out the store on relevant.com.
Yeah, or relevantmagazine.com.
Relevantmagazine.com.
It's a software company.
The most impressive thing is he talked like the Micro Machines guys from those 90s toy commercials the whole time. It was
so he did like 200 hours of sermon in 90s.
Easily. Yeah.
He didn't get to the final revelation. He was like, I'm running out of time. Imagine
you guys don't need this. You're fine.
Yeah. Imagine some like random YouTubers like, what? I'm going to go 96.4. I'm going to do 4 extra minutes after something like this.
I didn't even think about this. Like he was going to preach through the whole Bible. That was the whole premise of it.
Yeah.
Imagine he crosses the line and he hits a wall and he just can't finish the story. 96 hours, he gets up to, chapter 11. Anyway.
You know what? We're done, guys. That's the end of it. God's coming soon. One of those.
Yeah. Stay tuned. After this quick break, it's your feedback. This is great stuff. All right. It's time for your feedback. Last couple episodes ago, we asked you guys, what's something everyone seems to love, but you just don't get? You just don't get it. You hit us up on the YouTube comments. You hit us up on our stories where we posted this as well. And here are some of our favorites.
I know you're going to feel attacked, Emily, but at least 2 people mentioned Taylor Swift.
Wait, yeah, and I actually want to mention one of them, which is our former art director,
Christian Donoso.
Yeah, he put that in there. And I thought we were
Wow.
friends, Christian, but I guess we're not.
Yeah, it got personal.
The
It
matcha
did.
thing, matcha
A
is
bunch
such a
of
big thing
you
in California.
don't get
but
matcha.
you
Which
guys
makes
don't.
me
I don't
think,
think you guys are
is
having
it-
good matcha, maybe.
Or maybe is it actually not a thing if multiple people are mentioning it? Like maybe
You think it's like a fake hype? Like nobody
that-
actually likes matcha?
I think
I
they're
mean-
going to Starbucks to get it. That's why. I don't think they're going the route of like a place that does sell matcha. That's just my thought.
I mean, Kelsey Winning said, or Wilkening, she said it tastes like grass. I would actually agree. Bad matcha tastes like
Hot
grass.
Wife said,
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
like
it is
that.
Hot Wife.
Yeah, I don't like that, Yellowstone or cottage cheese. So, we got 3 right there.
Yeah.
What? Why did she pick the username Hot Wife?
That's
for
exactly
herself?
why. Now I'm married and all that. But I'm
it's
still
spelled
curious. I'm like,
HOTT. It makes me wonder.
Yeah, it's like a guy.
Is
though.
her
It's
last
weird. I'm
name
looking-
Hot? And maybe
Yeah,
Or
she's-
she married a guy whose last name was Hot. Her
Yeah,
name's like
yeah,
Brenda
yeah,
Hot.
yeah.
WT.
I don't know. Either that or she's got a huge ego.
The Hot
If she's
family.
I appreciate
Comment
her.
again and let us know if you have a big ego.
Joath said Jesse, and I would just say join the club, man. Join the club.
Ah! What?
There's a
He
long
knew you would
line.
call him out.
Yeah.
Moose on the Loose 88 said olives. I
Oh.
would absolutely agree. I've never had an
No.
olive because they look gross and smell
Olives are
gross.
great. I love olives
are
and
great.
cheese. It's
They
my
are
favorite
great.
thing in the world. Yeah.
No.
I like that one commercial of Kobe. How many olives? 82. If you've ever seen that little fun fact.
No.
Kobe,
I've never had
Kobe
an
Bryant.
Destiny, the sun, not a fan. You know?
Destiny 417. I just saw that. The sun.
That's insane. You're not a fan of the sun. I mean, there's some of them here that I would
I have to
totally
assume
agree
your
with.
skin is like translucent. Like you just don't go out in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with over here. It's like Miha smash burgers. Yeah, I'm not a fan of smash burgers. Like I'm buying a paper of meat right here, and it's just like crispy. I don't get it.
To me,
that whole thing,
smash
no.
burgers is a way for big hamburger to figure out how to cut costs and
You're
charge
correct.
more.
That
You know what I'm
is a
saying?
hot
We're
take
gonna
that
give
I
you
believe.
half the meat, smush it, brand it, and you'll pay double for it.
The cheese makes it look great, but it doesn't taste good. It's just like, all right, I get it. It's not juicy, it's just burned. I agree with you.
Big hamburger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelsey Dowd says the Jonas Brothers.
And then she
Fair.
put JK.
Fair.
So
She said
She was
JK
just
had to throw that
kidding.
in there for Emily. No, I believe that
She also
the
meant
truth
J.K.
comes
Rowling.
in every joke. There's an element of truth. So
no, Kelsey would never.
Casey Face 93 doesn't like rap music. I'm just going to guess they're white.
Okay.
Leslie Morris said lip filler. Amen, Leslie Morris. I don't
You
get
know-
why people do that.
Lip filler. It's always the. I'm not gonna ruin make you edit the show. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. I don't agree with Franny Pants. Mango is garbage fruit. Wow, that's you must not.
She
be
put Ed
tasting
Sheeran
mango.
and Mango, to be clear.
Yeah.
But-
She doesn't like anything orange. I
But
guess
here,
I think hers
but
is
here's the
more
deal.
of the color.
We're going back to matcha with the mango. Bad mango, trash fruit.
Yeah, you're right.
Incredible mango, nothing better.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah.
juicy mango. You can't nothing's better than that.
That
It's
also
life.
applies to Melissa Lumen Beauty, who said reality TV. Bad reality TV is bad, but good
You're right.
reality TV is some of the best psychological studies you will see on the humankind.
Sure, fully
Yeah.
agree.
I agree with Giggly Pear over here. I like. By the way, these names are just amazing. Giggle Pear, the Hey Dude shoes. No, I'm not a fan
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
get rid of those. They need to get burned. I went to a Dan and Shay show. Every person was wearing a pair of Hey Dudes, and I was like, "What?
That
is
checks
going
out.
Isn't that
on
just
here?
people who shop at Kohl's? I mean, it's just like America clothes.
Yeah, I don't
They
know. Maybe
buy clothes at
yeah.
Walmart.
I think they're
they wear Hey
popular.
Dudes.
I think they're popular in the middle school worlds with like
Really? Is that
Crocs
what it
and
is?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, kids just like stuff they don't have like the least amount of work slide in.
Exactly.
I guess I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
why Crocs
I
have lasted
can't
for
believe
so long.
I can't believe Jonathan Silas says Jesse. That was mean.
Oh,
I don't.
goodness.
I can see it. I can see it. You know.
This
Christian
person goes
Williams.
Android hate. I'm an Apple user. I don't get why people love to hate on those green messages.
It's 'cause they're
that's because you've
ugly.
never had and you've never had a group chat where one person has that, and the whole chemistry is off in the room. You're getting
Yeah.
messages like 4 messages of the same conversation. It's really odd.
It's the
All right,
worst.
last one. JJ Carlson said jeans. I don't know if everyone loves them, but to me, it's like trying to put on a paint canvas. You need to buy better jeans, man.
Raw denim?
What are you wearing? Slacks?
Yeah.
Raw denim? Like, what is that?
Yeah, he's wearing like
the hard, like Japanese denim. That's
yeah,
like...
he can't. JJ, just go down to Kohl's, wear your Hey Dudes, and buy us some soft jeans. It's fine. It's comfortable. All right, that'll do it for last week's feedback. It's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right, Emily, tell us what this week's question is.
This week, we would like to know what's a thing from your childhood you didn't realize was kind of insane until you got older.
You guys seen the Crossfire commercial from back in the day?
Yes, I did. Yes.
2 sweaty dudes in leather jackets playing the board game against each other.
I love it.
Fighter jets. You know the guy who loses? I rewatched it on YouTube recently. The guy who loses just spins off into a fire, like he's just burned. Like it's a high stakes game.
Of course, he spins off to a fire.
Crossfire.
Yeah.
I am driving a car that came out when I was a kid, and it has a big old ashtray in it. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Just driving down the road, smoking cigarettes, putting all the ash inside the car. That's just insane.
You know, honestly, smoking on planes.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
crazy.
Maybe smoking in public places in general.
How about this? When we were in PE growing up, you were either doing like Navy SEAL training, like climbing ropes and running sprints in the bus loop, or you're just playing weird made up games like Earthball and Parachute. You know what I mean? Like there was no middle ground. You're doing pull-ups in front of everybody, like a special operations mission, or you're doing like juggling and kickball. Like there's no middle ground.
Literally, you're either being shamed if you're not physically fit as physically fit as your peers, because now you're giving middle school kids ammo to make fun of you, or you're playing a game where the premise is to attack other children.
Yeah, with a medicine ball.
With balls and stuff.
A medicine ball playing dodgeball with medicine balls. Yeah.
I don't think Cohen, after 4th grade, I don't think he's had PE ever since. And PE, even up until 4th grade, was recess.
Why do they need it?
Well, you want the kids to get active.
Yeah, I get that, but we played kickball, for 4 years straight.
In a similar vein, though, I would say the youth group games I played growing up that were like borderline, Fear Factory.
Drink
I
milk.
mean, I knew at the time that they were insane.
Yeah.
I think they were.
No, they would get them from. They would get them from Fear Factor. I went to a church once. It's like, hey, the sermon is called Fear Factor, and then they're incorporating.
Who's going to eat a tarantula? Yeah.
Who's going to touch a
for Jesus,
for the Lord? Yeah.
All right, so hit us up in the comments here on YouTube, and also watch our socials, our stories, where we'll post this. You can interact there as well, and we'll read our favorites. Not on next episode, but the one after that. So, all right. On that note, we'll wrap things up. Many thanks to Jessica Koulianos for talking to us. Again, make sure to follow Jesus Image online. And if they're speaking at a church or a conference near you, you should go. Watch their YouTube as well. They put the full sermons up, full services.
They're not 96 hours, by the way.
They're
not.
95. They're deep, not long. I
was waiting for something. It's good.
And also thanks to Sondae. Make sure to check out his new album, and he's dropping some new singles as well. His great stuff. Follow him on Spotify and wherever you get your music. Okay, I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Marty.
We will see you all next Tuesday. Have a great week, everybody.